Hi, welcome to Shiralee's Hood. I'm glad that you came back. It's going to be another great one. I'm Shiralee Hood, Nyunga Kurnai Gunitjamara. Great to be here and thank you for joining me. This week we've got a really fantastic guest and I'm so happy to have him doing a lot of work in our camp sovereignty for this country, always in Victoria. We're very honoured to have Robbie Thorpe with us today. Brr. Hello, Mr. Robbie Thorpe.
Hello, Shiralee. How you going?
Good.
Thanks for having me on there.
Yeah, great to have you on. You've just come in from a big day. 3CR you work.
Yes, I do 3 programs a week. Plus a lot of other things.
That's right. But just then, I just remembered we should get you to introduce yourself.
Okay.
Countryman.
My name's Robbie Thorpe, also known as Duran Bunjalini. My country is, I'm connected to Shiralee through the Gunnai Kurnai people, grow up at Tungalam, and also from the Western Districts of Victoria, Japwarung, part of the Western Districts mob. I lived most of my life around Fitzroy since 1970.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right, 1970. You are one of the Fitzroy families that actually got to grow up together in Fitzroy, isn't it? That was a special thing.
Yes, my grandmother was brought to Fitzroy as a domestic servant back in 1920, just after the war, when what they call the half-castes were forced off the land and had to make their own way in the world. She's brought to Melbourne as a domestic servant and found a space in Fitzroy. So one of the very early families
It came to Fitzroy.
came to Fitzroy back in the early days.
It was really hard back then because all of us were sort of taken from families and pushed into the domestic world.
Well, my granny in particular, particularly Aboriginal women, were forced into domestic labour, and we gravitated to a place called Fitzroy, which was basically a ghetto back in the day. It's where Aboriginal people were allowed to reside. It's very rough. We weren't really allowed to be a part of the CBD, the Central Business District.
That's right, the CBD, so we were pushed out
off limits to us. It was a curfew. We could work in there during the day, but had to be out of there by 6 o'clock.
By 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yes. That's big. That's hard living, isn't it?
It sure was, and it was very difficult to get a place to stay. A lot of our people live in boarding type of houses. All basically fringe dwellers in our own country, ghetto dwellers. So it was very tough times, and this is on the back of the reserve, the period where we're probably up to 3 generations where people lived in basically concentration camps in this country.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, euphemistically mission stations or Aboriginal reserves.
Yeah, that's what they called them. But my mum grew up in a concentration camp as well, so it was really hard recovery. And it's hard for us to be growing up, hearing our parents crying.
Hearing them stories, and that's what motivates me a lot in the work that I do today is, I want to see some justice for our people in this country. This is our land. We never gave it up. People don't really know the true story of the British colonialism in this country. I want to make sure they do. That's another thing that motivates me. I want the truth to be told about the history of this country.
Exactly, Robbie, and that's why I love to always talk and speak with you. Your voice is really important in our community. You've been on radio, as we met. 3CR is a big part of our lives. You do Fire First.
Black Bloc and Bundles Fire.
Black Bloc, Bundles Fire and...
Black and Deadly.
Black and Deadly.
Yeah, which is a music-based program, entertainment stuff.
Brr.
Give yourself a break from that other stuff. You need to have a bit of a break from all that hardcore political stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely, because you're on the front line doing a lot of front work. Going to court, you take this court to court. What's that like? What's that process?
Well, I searched long and hard to think about what I could actually do in this country to make changes, like fundamental shifts. And, one of the most racist institutions in this country is the courts, also the parliament.
Absolutely.
The education system and the media. They're the fundamental racist organisations there. And if you can work with those things and change the things there, well, might go some way in changing the nature of the country, because it's chronically racist, this country. People may agree with that or not, but I say it is. And
absolutely. And it's set up for the system to succeed.
That's right. This country was based on a thing called the idea of terra nullius, which the place was empty when the British arrived here.
That's right. That was the statement they used in order to say there was no people on the land.
That was the justification of it. And for me, that was an act of genocide.
Yes.
Clear act of genocide. It was intentional. It's premeditated. It's criminal. And that's the foundations of this country. And I want to change that. We got kids.
Absolutely.
We want to think about our future generations here. But most importantly, like the land itself is so important to our people.
Yes.
It's the core of our identity and all those things. It saddens me to look at what's happening to this country, how it's been pillaged and plundered and raped the way it is in this country. And it's just disgusting. Even as late as yesterday when I seen Albanese talking mining deals with that imbecile, the orange man over there.
That's right. And they've got no right to speak about our land.
Yes. Talking about rare earth
yes,
mining or minerals, is it? And anyway.
No, this is a big thing, Robbie.
It really is.
And you're on the forefront. You speak openly about the genocide and them raping our land and our people. Like, how do we go about stepping forward to getting our rights?
Well, one of the biggest things is education. Making sure that we've got education amongst ourselves. That's been something that's missing for a long time. We're denied a proper education in this country.
Yes.
That's pretty fundamental. And educating the wider community about the real issues. I found that one of the things that I'm doing. I work with a lot of non-Aboriginal people.
Yes.
And attempt to educate them, and it's becoming a force now. So hopefully that's what's going to change things the way that I can see it happening. We're not talking about armed revolution here. It's we commit an act of suicide if we try to think like that.
Absolutely, and we haven't been. We're not that type of people.
No,
otherwise we already would have done something.
Well, when we did do things back in the day, like look at Jundamurra.
Yes. We had our frontier wars.
We did. And if we did turn on the white man and like that, they would come at us and they would kill our families, they would kill our community. So you had to step very carefully if you're thinking like that,
That's exactly. I mean, they took away our animals and then they put the sheep in place. And when we had to kill a sheep, we got many countries got slaughtered.
How dare you do that?
Yeah.
And like in America, they shot all the buffalo out. It was an attempt to starve the people. They did that to the kangaroos in this country and all of our food sources. And when we did take something, we assumed this is on our land, we're allowed to de-shoot. We were attacked and murdered, basically. But who knew about what was happening in this country? It's out of sight, out of mind in the rest of the world.
Well, that's right. That's right. The rest of the world seems to see Australia as like a blonde, blue-eyed surfing community, and that is definitely not the roots of our country, is it?
Not at all. It goes back at least 120,000 years here in what they call Victoria. You know, and as far as their dating techniques can go, that's how long we've been here. And we were a sophisticated, civilised society here that were brutalised brutally. The time that British colonialism got here was like the end of colonialism. It's the last continent colonised. And by the time they got here, they knew exactly how to kill the people off here. And like I said, this is out of sight, out of mind. It's an island. It's very difficult to get to. But when they did get here, they used all the weapons against us, like biological warfare.
Yes. Smallpox, we had a lot across the country.
And just even things like the flu and other simple diseases. We were basically disease-free, our people. And
that's right. We didn't even have antidepressants and all that sort of stuff either.
No, we were very healthy people. In fact, you'd be hard-pressed to find any more healthier people on the planet at that time, you know. You think of the way that the people were living in England at that, they were living in the gutter people.
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty horrid.
Dealing with the plague and
all of those things. This is Dark Ages stuff. And that's what they brought to Australia and unloaded that on us. And, and then the missionaries came in and
the missionaries in the black robes. And then I know it's crazy, isn't it? Because when we think about all the things we've come through and we're still sort of surviving, I mean, do you remember when before all the heaviness came in, do you remember your time as a child running free? What was that like? And do we ever get back to that?
Yeah, I do. I often think about that. I often think of my very first memory was at a place called New Morella on the Snowy River.
Oh, beautiful.
And it was like a fringe dwelling camp. It was, we were free there. We escaped from the reservation state tires, and we lived in these fringe dwelling camps. My very first memory, I'm talking about 1957.
Wow, yes.
And I still remember. I think they must have been there because I was with the grandmothers and that. I'm pretty sure that they were singing to you back then.
Absolutely.
They're memories that I'll never forget. And it was beautiful country back then at that time. So I remember a lot of that. And I was pretty privileged, actually, growing up as a kid. I didn't really have the concentration camp life or the reserve life. There's a lot of racism around, but I didn't really feel that back in those early days. But I felt quite free. My father worked for 40 years in the SEC, and it was very, very unusual for average people to have jobs.
Absolutely.
He worked for 40 years, so that gave us a lot of security as a family.
Yes.
And we lived in a 5-bedroom brick veneer house in a place called Yallourn, which was run by the State Electricity Company. It was a mining town. It was one of the biggest open-cut coal mines in the world.
Absolutely. Cutting all of Gippsland as we speak.
Yes, Latrobe Valley.
Yes.
So, I had a great childhood. Was into sport. Very normal for me. But then when I turned adolescence, I realised what the hell was going on with my people. I could sort of see it. My elders who used to visit, I didn't really understand at that time. But
yes,
I didn't learn much in school. But when I left school, I started to learn things.
Right. That's funny. So, because going through school and being younger, did you think that, you had a chance to be equal?
I was lucky because I had my older sister, my older brother, 2 older brothers in front of me.
Yes.
So that was protection for me in going to school. No one messed with us.
Yes, yes.
And so I felt good there. And when I came to Melbourne, I was in a multicultural society there as well, which wasn't just all white then, and I had protection there as well. So very lucky in many ways. And I was in a Fitzroy Aboriginal community was such a beautiful, strong community back in the days.
Yes.
And I was lucky enough to grow up in amongst all that. And they were revolutionising health services, legal services, childcare agencies. We had free dental. We had all these amazing things. We pioneered a lot of this in this country.
Yes, yes.
It was all community-based and community-controlled, very much self-determination going on.
That's right. Yeah, because we had nothing. Because we had nothing.
We had nothing behind that.
And then all of a sudden it sort of came in and we kept building them.
Yes, it was so beautiful. I thought we were home free, but then the thing called corporation came, or incorporation, where the government didn't like the idea of us being so free and self-determining, so they put a lid on it by creating this thing called corporations, and they took over our organisations and they corrupted it all. And I stepped aside of that as well. As soon as I seen that come, I started doing things like court cases and things like that. I didn't want to be involved with that. I could see where that was going.
Yes.
I don't know if you agree, but we've gone backwards a little bit in terms of our development. I don't know if you agree with that, but
I mean, I do, because a lot of people who are not always qualified to be in certain positions are being put there.
Yes,
and then they're just not. They don't know the Aboriginal the way we work, so there are barriers right up.
And they'll put there in place of our customary law business and our elders who, they're the authorities in our business. And yet they got cut out of that and become these corporate government-funded bodies which didn't have a real interest at heart. So that's why I do the things I do, like court cases and things like that. I said, no, I'm going to do something different because this is not right for our people.
Yeah, that's right. When did you start thinking, okay, this ain't right and I'm going to do something about it?
Well, I went to the Tent Embassy, very early days at the Tent Embassy, and I realised I got a great education there, thanks to people like the late Dr. Bruce McGuinness.
Yes.
He's one of the great teachers,
yes.
He was my elder, my mentor. I learnt from people like Gary Foley, my mother, my granny. I had some great people around me.
Yes.
And
your mum, Auntie Alma.
Yes.
I know she's a brilliant woman in our community too, and she's got a garden where we do a lot of work in that garden. So our working garden, and I love that we've got an office outside. Auntie Alma, your mum.
You're talking about Daddy.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's such a beautiful thing there.
It really is, and I worked a little while in Dardy, and it was great to go to an outdoor office and, have a smoking ceremony.
Yeah. Very beautiful. And, the health service back in the day, I really loved the health service. I thought, this is great. This is exactly what our people need.
Yeah.
Because our people wouldn't go to the hospitals back in the day because of the racism and the way we were treated.
That's right.
So we ended up creating our own health service in spite of the government's duty of care for our people and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And we created all these things ourselves. And they were pioneering organisations. Like I said, they were community-based, community-controlled, self-determining. And they also talked about the principles of sovereignty, which, I didn't understand it fully back then, but I do now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's a whole understanding of where we stand here. We were totally ignored, and we were flora and fauna until 1967.
Yes.
You were there for that. How old?
I was 10.
You were 10?
Yes. And the time the health service come around I was 15.
Right.
So I grew up. It was great to grow up, I was very impressionable at that age.
Yes.
And had these great leaders around me, and so that's what changed me, and that's what motivated me, and I never looked back, and I still haven't. I won't step over the other side. I've been doing my thing, and why I work at 3CR Community Radio is because they've got the same principles of what they're community-based, community controlled, self-determined. We got to raise our own money to keep the radio going each year.
Yes.
I love that. And I've been around for ECR for probably more than 30 years.
Yes.
I haven't been a broadcaster for that long, but I've been around the organisation.
That's right.
Most of its life.
Yes. And with Gil McGuinness pushing a lot of voice at the beginning, hey?
Absolutely. It's been a great organisation for us. It's given us a voice.
Yes.
They don't sort of dominate us. I get to say what I want, just got within reason. And it's been really fantastic. They turn 50 next year, by the way.
Yeah, it's unreal. Great.
It grew up with our community organisations.
Yes.
And
it may be time for us to sort of take it back, you know. I mean, do you remember the days when we had buses?
Around the
from the health buses, yeah. And buses used to pick us up and we'd go for barbies.
Thinking about Johnny Mac and...
Yes.
Remember that... because we weren't really welcome in the hotels, we used to drink in the parks back in the day.
Yes.
And they were like gathering places, meeting places. There's a lot of alcoholism in our communities.
Absolutely.
And the health service reformed a lot of those people.
Yes.
Changed them from alcoholics, turned them into productive members of the community who, Johnny Mac, Bootsy. A lot of fellas who came out of those places and it was fantastic.
And I mean, because it was they're dealing with trauma and then because you drown yourself in alcohol is one way that our people dealt with it. And once you sort of looked at the health issues and balanced it up, we had a good go at like understanding our worth. Hey.
And we started to understand what intergenerational trauma was too. There's a lot of sadness in our communities. Like people don't realise the trauma that average people have been through in the last, 7 generations.
Yes,
it's pretty traumatic, and I want to make sure that the world understands that.
Yes.
And because look at the way we're treated today. You have a look at the social media in this country, the way they talk about Aboriginal people in this country. It's pretty disgusting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're always angry. We're always violent. There's something going on. They're not getting the greatness of us.
Or the bigger picture,
Or the bigger picture, yes.
But they don't really want anyone to know the truth about the history of this country because it shines a light on them and who they are and what they are. That's what they don't really want to have the world know, because Australia's only a very small population in the scheme of things.
Absolutely.
Controlling this big continent here.
Yeah.
Mega wealthy continent in terms of their...
That's right.
Their material wealth and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't really want us to see the light of day. They rate us off. They had a policy called the smooth the dying pillow policy.
Yes.
For a dying race,
Yeah. They've got plaques around the country for that. And it's like, as if we should just be quiet and die quietly.
Yes, and be thankful it was the British who colonised us and not the Japanese or anybody else. I don't think I could have done any worse to genocide than the British. They were the masters of it.
That's right. And, I mean, taking children away from parents, that's a definite disconnection.
Well, it's considered an act of genocide according to the...
Absolutely.
What's it called? The United Nations Convention for the Prevention and the Punishment for the Crime of Genocide, 1948. It's basically what created the United Nations in light of the Second World War. The forced removal of children was an act of genocide. Article E. Check it out.
Yes.
And if you have a look at that act, the Genocide Convention, you'll see that everything written in that act, Australia's guilty of, and there's no doubt about it. And that's another thing why I'm in the courts. I want to bring that home. And on December the 2nd, we got a case against King Charles III. I call him Chuck the Turd. And we've got a case against him. And that's what that means, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're saying, we're going to knock the king over here. This is our land and our law, and we never gave it up. Now, this thing here, this treaty business, that's not a real treaty. This state government one. It's colonial state government legislation. That's not a treaty. A treaty is between two sovereign people.
Yes.
Right. So that's where we need to go to the international court in regards to that. There's a thing called the Vienna Law of Treaties where we need to have a look at, not this tokenism, colonial state government legislation is not a treaty. Right? We're entitled to much more than that. And they've dictated the terms on this business.
See, and that's the danger, isn't it? I mean, we've had to pretend we're Australian for 200 years, and we're not. We don't like pie and sauce alone. We like our kangaroo and emu. And we've had to pretend we don't exist. They've made no room for us. And we've had to just live on our land, pretending we're someone different. And when it comes down to it, after continue asking, there's nowhere else for them to go, really.
No. We've been trying to survive in our own country because it was pretty brutal. You couldn't really step out of line, But we've survived despite all this oppression, repression, suppression, you name it. We've survived all that.
Yes.
And they made a mistake by not killing us all because we're going to come back. We're not the sort of people going to give up our identity and our beautiful country. When blackfellas say the land is our mother,
that's right.
It's Mother Earth, and we're not going to sell our own mother to anybody, right? So
exactly.
We're looking at, you've got to restore this land the way you found it, colonise it, home invader, trespass, Australia. I'm not Australian. Are you Australian?
No, I'm not an alien.
So we're not Australians, right?
Yeah.
They're Australians, but we're not. We've got identity, we've got culture, and we're from country. In fact, I say that we're a part of the ecology of this land.
Yes.
We're like the kangaroo and the emu and every other thing. We're the human part of that, and we know where our place. They don't, and they're so destructive. They're unsustainable. So that's why the law of the land is so important.
Yes.
We need to acknowledge that no matter who you are, you're welcome to live in our country, but you should live under the law of it. If you want to live under the law of Britain, go and live under it. That's why we live here under the law of Britain, right?
Yeah.
And that's the nature of our case. To say, you're not the law here, right? And we're going to demonstrate that late November. We've got a conference. We're going to establish a thing called the Sovereign Court of Indigenous people of this land, right?
Yes.
For one, we don't really like the word court, but maybe council. Establish our elders' council.
Yes.
And we'll start determining what the law is. We'll create a body of evidence of what the history of this country is, and we'll take it to the international community.
Absolutely.
That's the plan behind that.
That's good. And we need to do it because we've asked the community. We've tried to form a decent embassy in this country because we need to talk about, we need someone to talk to when this country is treating us badly. We still haven't got an embassy. It's still intense. And it's intense.
Intense, yeah, that's right.
It's intense. So, I mean, they don't seem to be listening to like our general shout out, which is we are human and we deserve rights and we deserve to work in this society.
They don't want it at all. That's their worst nightmare of the truth coming out in this country. We've got like I said, we're a sophisticated people. We had really amazing law. Our law is superior to this where we live in today.
Absolutely.
Look at it. It's destructive. It's unsustainable. We were thinking about clean air, clean water, clean food, clean environment. 100,000 years. And this country's just, driving it like they stole it sort of thing,
Yes.
And they don't care. Right. They're just pillaging and plundering.
Because they didn't buy it. They hold no responsibility for it. There's
There's no proper treaty.
That's right. They do know how to do a treaty because they just did a treaty with
Trumpster.
Yeah, and Papua.
Yes, that's right.
That's right. They did a treaty with Papua New Guinea, and so they know how to do
They do so. Yes. Yeah, but it's the way they view Aboriginal people, like we're less than human, bit more than an animal.
Yeah.
So that justifies their missions over us and governing our lives, controlling our lives. They control every aspect of our lives.
They do. They do.
And it's bad. They do it badly, deliberately badly.
From what we get in our lounge to they expect us to go to their education system.
Yes, and that's traumatic for a lot of people. It was for me. Like I said, I didn't learn anything until I left the school. You know, I had fun at school because I love sport and I just liked hanging out with other people, kids and that. Like we had fun. I had fun in that sense, but didn't really learn anything, and they weren't really interested in educating us either.
No, that's
been a real different.
What did you learn about Aborigines and the history of Australia? What did you learn?
My mother warned me about Captain Cook when I went to school.
Yes.
And I came up against it in grade 1. Miss Crane, her name was.
Yeah, right.
And so that sort of shaped my life because I got into an argument straight up in grade 1 about Captain Cook.
Yeah, that's right.
And even like my mother went through that. I went through that. And my kids go through that. And my grandkids all got this Captain Cook shit story, right?
Yes.
So it's still a institutionalised racism and the indoctrination in this country. It's all based on monumental lies. Have you heard of the word terra nullius?
That's right.
Empty land.
Exactly.
Concept.
Australia is cooked, man. Australia is cooked.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what, like, we've got a lot more to deal with, you know, and then also trying to keep our families okay.
We're up against it, you know. Like I said earlier, like you got the media, it's racist. The government's racist. The judiciary's racist. How would you say the media's racist?
The
way they present stories, you know, they don't tell the truth about the history of this country. They're always quick to slander our people, run us down. There's not really positive stories. You know, you check it out, particularly over the NITV, not too bad, but it's not 100%. But you know,
I think that too. Like NITV, we push to have a bit of our television, a bit of our voice, and now like they've given us a national Indigenous television. What do you think of it?
I still think it's controlled a lot. Really, we're doing a lot more. A lot of good things do come out of it, I must admit.
Yes.
And the other thing is our music's starting to really grow. Look at the stuff that's coming out of the Northern Territory. I'm just so wrapped in that stuff. I can really see some good stuff happening there. You know,
absolutely.
So there is some good things happening, but it's just ever so slowly. And there's chronic problems. Look at the gap in between us and the wider community. It's not getting any. It's not closing.
No, it's not.
So what's going on there? You know, we're quite capable of looking after our own children, surviving in our own country, but they've got to take the jackboots off the neck of Aboriginal people.
That's right.
You know, we'll thrive, and I don't think they really want us to thrive in our own country.
No, they don't, because if we thrive, then we're going to look after our country. And if we're looking after our country, they can't dig it up.
Also, there's a lot of non-Aboriginal people that lose their jobs managing our affairs. There's so much money it looks like it's going to Aboriginal people, but it's actually being drawn out by non-Aboriginal people who are getting paid huge salaries to manage us. You know, there's a huge industry around childcare, incarceration, all these things.
Reconciliation.
Biggest scams.
Biggest scam going.
You know, they say, oh, you blackfellas can't manage your own affairs. Right? So we need to do it for you. And that's the problem. And that's why there's a gap.
That's right.
And that's, you know.
And like you said before, going back to the organisations where we set them up, But now we've got like Victorian Aboriginal Legal Service where you have to plead guilty for them to represent you.
It's insane.
It's insane.
Well, one of the reasons why we're setting up the Sovereign Court of Aboriginal Australia is for that exact reason. You can come to our court and we'll hear your case, right, as an Aboriginal, and give you a fair hearing, and we'll create a body of evidence that's overwhelming in terms of, the injustice that's going on in this country. But we're never going to see any justice, I don't believe, in these courts in this country. They are wired against us.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, what you say, they're going to rule against you.
Yeah.
You have a look. The Aboriginal Legal Service was once really good.
Yes, I remember the day.
When they first began, they were good. They were independent, self-determined, had the right principles.
Yes.
Now they're a lawyer's picnic. They're $1 billion organisation, and our jail rates have gone through the roof.
That's right.
How do you work that out?
Our jail rates have gone through the roof.
They're still pillaging and plundering our land. There's no protection for our country or our people.
Can you name any Aboriginal person at Bowes?
No.
Neither can I.
No.
Not working as a legal person.
Or in a high position there.
Yeah.
No,
I know some of our lower positions that people are running and doing a lot of the running.
Yeah.
I can name a few of them.
I distance myself even from the Aboriginal House, which my grandmother and mother set up. I loved that organisation, but in 1986 I went there and took my file out of there. I said, "Oh, see you later." And when it started doing things like these court cases that I've been involved in, I wanted to take on the native title stuff. When that changed.
Yes.
What was it, Terra Nullis in the Marbo case?
Yes.
I was prime ready to go then and just didn't have my act together, but I don't know if you remember the thing called the 10-point plan, John Howard and Tim Fisher.
Yes, I remember, yes.
I said, no, that's it. I'm taking these files for genocide. And my first genocide case, Michael Kirby was the High Court judge. He said to me, genocide's not a crime in Australia. There's no there's no jurisdiction to uphold here. It's not considered a crime. That's what the court ruling said. I said, that's not right. This is a universal law, and no one's immune. There's no statute of limitation. What Australia had was genocide wasn't a crime. 1997.
Yeah, 1997.
We've done a number of cases, and then in 2002, they connected up to the International Criminal Court of Justice, and genocide became a crime. But they added the thing that what they call the Attorney General's fiat, which if we wanted to charge anyone in this country for the crime, we had to go through the White Attorney General to apply the charges. There's no other way to do it, according to Australia. And it's called the Attorney General's fiat. Right. And that's a case that we took on as well. So that's an act of genocide in itself. There's no way the White Attorney General is going to apply these charges to themselves.
That's right.
It had to be international court. They're blocking us from getting this, but we're hacking away at it, and hopefully we can get there.
Yes, and see some sort of ripple effect.
Yes.
How long did the court it feels weird to take the government to court. What made you push that up, and what was your first step?
Well, I knew that genocide was a crime and that criminal was a state. That was the government. And everyone in the country lives on the proceeds of this crime here as well, It wasn't that hard to convince people on the street. So this is the issues here. This is why we're in a situation we are. So it's taken 97 till now. What's that? It's about 28 28 years of hacking away at that stuff.
Wow.
Just on the issue of genocide.
Yes.
And I feel like we've finally got to a point where it's the Crown. We're calling it checkmate. We're at the point now where they can't move. We're surrounded. The king can't move. That's game over. It's checkmate. That's what I feel. And after 30 odd years of hacking around these courts, so that's what I knew. It would take a long time. Australia's hardwired.
Yes.
In terms of its, it's white supremacy.
Absolutely. I mean, we know about white policy Australia.
Absolutely.
Do
most people understand what that is? Was the original federal constitution in this country had a thing called the white-only policy. The first federal constitution means that this country was just meant for white people only. Right? What happens to the people that had been here for 120,000 years and they're all black? What does that mean for them? So that's what this country's about, really. They don't really want to see the light of day. But the truth's such a powerful weapon, no matter who you are. Right, and that's what I'm relying on too.
Yes.
I naively thought that when you go to court, the truth was an aspect of it, but it's not. It's not about the truth here, the way they work their courts.
No, that's right.
That's not the way average people do business.
Right.
We're different.
Yes.
So
we stand for truth, and they seem to be standing for loopholes. And if you can find it.
That's right. And they just keep putting these hurdles in front of you all the time. But over a period of time of winding them down, we've got some pretty smart people around us,
Yes.
And now we're starting to get a lot of non-Aboriginal support, which I think that's the deal breaker, actually.
Absolutely.
Like we're, 1% of the population.
Yeah.
It's not really a threat to them, but the wider community is turning on them too. There's no real justice for anyone in this country. Remember, it started as a convict penal colony. That's what it began as, this country.
That's right.
Everyone got brutalised. They continue to do that to Aboriginal people. It's never ended.
Exactly, and it still hasn't.
Yeah.
They keep saying, but like at the moment now, we have got 20,000 of our children in their care.
Home care. Well,
as Australians.
Out of home care. Yeah.
As Australians.
It's disgusting, yeah.
It is. Internationally, you can't take other people's children.
No, and try to imagine it. If anyone out there has your children taken off, it's really traumatising, I tell you, and it lasts forever. And you're dealing with kids who are traumatised forever after. And that goes on to their children. It's a really horrible cycle there. So it's really hard to break too. And that's why it's considered an act of genocide according to the international law. This thing's been going on for a long time. They attack your children. They brutalise your children. It's an act of war and aggression, really. It's the most horrible part of genocide, actually. And the other horrible part of it was the forced assimilation. I've got to be like my people I detest the most. I'm forced to be like them. I just won't do that. I really take my hat off to my people for their resistance against all odds. And,
like seeing some of our elders with their light in the eyes. It's so beautiful.
It is. They're so precious too.
Yeah.
We've got elders who have survived this. I was smart enough to listen to my elders when I was young. I think that gave me so much. But I was lucky growing up. I had family. It wasn't broken up.
Yes.
I had a beautiful community around me and strong elders who had seen it all. And so I owe it to them. I feel like I owe it to my ancestors.
Yes.
I owe it to my children's children's children. And I owe it to this land and the spirit of this land. That's what drives and motivates me.
Yes. And that's so great, Robbie, because this community has really heard you for many years. You've got a documentary out on you at the moment that's running around. I've been lucky to be a part of it. couple of
Thank you.
times. Hey, I've been so happy about that. What was it like seeing yourself on the doco?
It's a little bit surreal, I didn't expect that to happen. I suppose it's been my consistency over a long period of time. I was in front of the camera all the time. But
how was that?
I didn't really expect it to see that happen, but I think it's really good that we captured that slice of history and showed a bit about our communities and what our struggle is about. So I think that's really good. Is it? A lot of people who are not here with us now are in that documentary too. It's really good, and you'll notice that there's not that much written or documented about our people here in Victoria. So I think it's important, but it's a bit surreal. I'm not the movie star type.
Yeah. You never always thought you were going to be the front.
No, in the big screen. I said, oh my God, it changed me every time I see it.
But you look so good. You look so good.
Oh, thanks.
And it's great to see you over the years, because you were seen pretty young.
15 years of age, I think.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
It was.
Good old Anthony Kelly got all that documented stuff.
Yeah.
You've got a great one where you're bouncing on the diving board. How good is that shot?
Riding the horse.
Yeah.
When I was 15 years old, and it's good. I wish I was that fit again.
Oh, yeah. You think back, hey?
It was really young.
Yeah, like what you would do with that youth energy, eh?
And I take my hat off to him, like Dr. Bruce, because he took me under his wing. He took me up to the tent embassy, and Uncle Bruce was boring tools at the time. He used to drive this big V8 Ford with those big fat cassettes. Super 8, not Super 8, but anyway, they were great times, and the 70s music, it was really great.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like you went, there was a beginning of the Black Panther movement, and then you were a young fella, 16 or something, and you went to the embassy movement.
Yes.
The first one.
My sister was actually a member of the Black Power movement in Australia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she still is. She's probably one of them. I think Foley's one of them. Foley and Marge are still living members of that organisation.
Whoa.
So I had a connection to that. And we got to meet all the the Black Stars and the Black Panther movement. Like we met the Jackson 5, Muhammad Ali, Stevie Wonder. We met them all. Tina Turner, Ike and Tina Turner.
Yes.
Eartha Kitt. I don't know if you know who Eartha Kitt is.
Yeah, Eartha Kitt was Catwoman.
It was great. We had a really great relationship with these fellas, right?
Yes.
Because they were pretty impressed with our organisations.
Yeah.
That they had muscle over there, and they had, there's a lot of talk about guns and things, but that wasn't what the Black Panther were about. They were about looking after their communities and feeding their communities and empowering their communities. They got painted up as terrorists, carrying guns and frighten the white public. They tried to run that by us. That was never what we were about. We were about empowering our communities and our people.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
The
Black
empowering.
Black empowerment.
That's right.
Yeah.
And like Bobby Sykes, everybody was there. Were you at the embassy when like all the police came? That first run?
Not the first time. I was there when that did happen. It's pretty intimidating. Like, what's going on here? And we were sitting across the road, and they were coming out as the cops.
Yeah.
Flashing people, and it was pretty scary.
That's right. Being there at that exact point, isn't it?
Yeah. No, looking back on it, it's just such an honour to be a part of that, and you get to meet all the mobs from around Australia and realise how connected we are, the same issues that we got.
Yes.
That's what's really great about the tent embassy back in the day. It's still there, the tent embassy. It's done it hard, but it's got an incredible history, and I'd like to see those places pop up everywhere, like Camp Sovereignty.
Yes, that's right. Because, I mean, we've had Tent Embassy running for like 55 years now, and you started Camp Sovereignty, which is in Melbourne, and that is set at the King's Domain.
Yes.
That has been a great run and a very necessary place, eh?
It is. It's going pretty strong at the moment.
Yes.
Back in 2006, we had a thing called the Black GST, meaning, the issues that we wanted to tackle in this country were the issues of genocide, sovereignty and treaty,
yes.
GST. And, people like Foley in that committee, my sister Marge, me, Claire Land and Target and a few others. It was only a small group, and we used to target the international spotlights on the country, like the Commonwealth Games, the Olympic Games. We would target them. What was the other one? The 1988 celebration, because the international media would be there, and that's what we were looking at. International community to embarrass this country, put our issues out. It was called the Black GST, and we established the Camp Sovereignty in the King's Domain, perfect space to have that king. And
because that's at the King's Domain, overlooking the city.
Botanical Gardens.
In the Botanical Gardens. Botanical Gardens was one of our first concentration camps.
Aboriginal reserve, yes.
Mm.
And people don't know much about that history there. And on that site there in 1985, they repatriated or rematriated the remains from places like Melbourne University and the eugenics program. They had remains of our people sitting in their dungeons and experimenting on our people for over 100 years. The museums, we got our people's remains scattered all around the world in museums. We want them all back.
Yes.
That place there at Camp Sovereignty was the first place. The King's Domain was the first place that started to happen, where they started to rematriate our people back to their land in a respectful way. And there's a site there, which is basically
where the big rock
is.
Yes.
But it's very hard to access. Not many people would know that was there.
No, that's right.
It's on a slope. If he was in a wheelchair, you can't see that. There's no accessibility for people who are handicapped or disabled.
No, I mean, you have to go all the way around that way.
You couldn't possibly. I wouldn't take a wheelchair down there. You'd go down the hill. So it's discrimination in that respect. But that's been there for 1985. That's is that 50 years?
Yeah.
So, and yet people wouldn't know about that thing. That's the story of our people right there, and that's where the Shrine of Remembrance is. There's all these other war memorials. They've all got this amazing access, all this signage for them. What have we got? You wouldn't know we existed. So that's why it's important that site's there. We want to change the nature of that and tell the true story. It's on an old Aboriginal reserve, like I said. People don't know what happened to those people.
I know. That's right.
People should look at the Letsum raid of 1842 in Melbourne here. They rounded up 400 Aboriginal people and they disappeared them. They went to those barracks in St Kilda Road first.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that a lot of those people would have been connected to that reserve.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden that becomes Botanic Gardens and the Government House. Neat little solution there. Right. But what happened to those people, all of our people? So there's lots of stories about this country people don't know. And it's not a very nice story. I'm determined to make sure the people of the world know about it.
That's right. And that's why, we need to keep having your voice, Robbie. And it's so important because out of all the different, I know that I've seen you in many marches. I know I've been a part of it with you in many marches. So it's always I see the young people still getting inspired with you.
That's right. And we've done a lot of death in custody rallies too.
Yes.
That many. And, and we just kept at it. And, sometimes there's only a handful of people there in those rallies. Well, I said, well, sooner or later this will turn around,
Yeah.
keep the faith and keep going about this. And, and now look at this, some pretty massive marches. Look at the Invasion Day marches, they're getting...
Absolutely. On the 26th of January, they're like 80,000.
Yes.
And a lot of allies and people who do believe that we should be acknowledged in some way.
Absolutely. I think it's a real change, but it's a real resistance to that change too. Look at you're up against the whole system.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is, the rise of right wing and the Nazis in this country. Just recently, they attacked Camp Sovereignty, and that was all over the news. So how come that those things are allowed to manifest in this country?
That's right. That was a massive day. They had lots of marches going on, and in the end, we ended up getting bashed at Camp Sovereignty.
They attacked them, and why did they do that? There's police investigations going on at the moment. Not that you have any faith in police investigating their sons and their sons there.
Yeah, their sons.
So you don't expect much to come out of that. But the world's seen it.
That's right. And that is important, because the Nazis started coming up at the diggers.
In Ballarat?
Yes. And that was the first one when we were giving remembrance to world wars. And in the Second World War, we were against the Nazis. And yet they allowed the Nazis to boo Welcome to Country.
Yeah, it's pretty deep, actually. They got nests all around this place. I say that white Australia's got a black history, and we want to get to the bottom of it all, and it's going to worry a lot of these people. Australia's a stronghold of white supremacy. It's a breeding ground for Nazis and other fascists. It's a continent controlled by aliens. They don't care really about this country or its true history. So it's a breeding ground. And the education system doesn't help that. The judiciary don't help that. The government don't help that. And the media don't help that. That's what we're up against, but...
Yeah, that's right. That's what we're up against. No, because we are the spirit.
That's it.
And the spirit takes a lot longer to get rid of us. Our spirit's been here for 120,000 years.
Well, you can't kill the spirit no matter what you do. Right? Spirit's indestructible. As soon as you realise that, you start living with that rather than being against that, things will be a lot smoother for Aboriginal people. So they're up against it. They can never win. They can never win. Sooner or later, it'll fall over. It's called checkmate. We're at that point now. And then they've tried all their stuff, throw the Nazis at us, these thugs. They've done everything to our people, but we're still here. We're not going nowhere.
No.
And we'll be here at the end of the day. And then you've got the environmental collapse that's going on. So our law is to look after the land. Colonisers' law destroys the land. So that's unsustainable. Sooner or later, there's going to be you're going to have to turn around. Otherwise, you perish. All of us. That's the game, I suppose.
Well, that's right. And I mean, it's so hard continually going through. What would you have done if we lived in an equal world?
Probably fishing and camping somewhere.
Exactly, I reckon.
Enjoying my grandchildren and my children. Well, I do that anyway. But there's this things are not right for anybody, actually. Yes. I'd be doing I wouldn't be doing this stuff. I'm going to court and wasting my life like that. And not wasting my life, but I wouldn't be doing these things, I'd be doing the things that I really enjoy doing. I love sport.
Yes.
I love doing all those things, but how do you be a sportsman and in a world where there's genocide going on and there's no real fair, there's no fair things for everybody? There's a whole race that don't get a fair go, right? So I don't want to be a part of that. I want to see where everyone gets an equal opportunity. Our people had that. We had a fair law. Our people did it. We had men's business, women's business, elders, authority, and we had young people who went through the law into that structure of law, and it was there for everyone. It didn't matter what colour you were. It was about the law that you had in you. And now, look, today, how many people know about the law? Any type of law. They've hived that off into these institutions where it's very difficult to penetrate. But in our society, everyone knew the law.
That's right. Everybody looked at each other as we made commitments, decisions, and passed law. People were eye to eye.
And we all, we recognised our spirituality too as well.
Mm.
And that was the guiding thing. We could see, he's a good fellow. He's got a good spirit. It doesn't matter what colour you are. There's a proper law there. And that's where we were. And we had a law that's sustainable, stood the test of time. And we would have been still living that way if it hadn't been invaded, home invaded. We're homelandless now, our people. You might notice. We're the most jailed people on earth. Not just men, but women and kids.
And
this is our land. What's going on there? Got any answers? No.
It's crazy, and I've only seen change since the international law, since we went international. Because people international started asking questions, so Australia had to answer in some way.
And that's what happened in South Africa too. It was international law, the boycotts, the sanctions, and they strangled that country, so they had to shift. That's what needs to happen to Australia too.
Yes.
That's all about money for them, and so if the international community says, Australia, you're on the nose, we're going to cripple you, and they can do that.
Yes.
So we need to make sure that people are aware of what the true story is there.
Of what's going on. Deaths in custody, Aboriginal deaths in custody, we've had over 611 now, and zero
since the Royal Commission.
Yeah, since the Royal Commission.
Yes.
Yeah, in 83. So
86 was it?
Yeah, it was 86.
Yeah,
because 83 was the first one. John Pat died there because I remember going to his court case as a 10-year-old.
Did you?
Yeah, as a 10-year-old in Roban.
Yeah,
and
I remember that very clearly.
Yeah, and that's when I first saw the cops lying, and then I saw the system, and that's where we got pushed into this area. That's why we need lawyers, But I just think of if you've been fighting all your life for things, what's one of the last things? What's one of the big things that we can do maybe to get our voice heard?
Yeah, got me now. My voice was gone.
I know. Yeah. It's a big question.
I've never had a win in my life, really. I don't feel like I've ever had a win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's always just a struggle. So I've never really thought about that, what it could be. But, we want recognition of, our fundamental and basic human rights wouldn't go astray.
Yes.
But no one in this country's got that. So maybe we could come together as a people in this country and demand that our human rights be recognised. What they do have is charters, and a charter for human rights is not enforceable law. We want human rights legislation, things that anybody can use to protect their human rights with. That would give us a voice. I think we don't want to be any different than anybody else. We're quite capable of looking after ourselves in our country with an equal opportunity and a fair go, mate. We're quite capable. So, we're looking for a better law in our country for everyone. And I think it starts with human rights, fundamental human rights and land rights, which means looking after the land. It's common sense to look after the environment you live in. Yeah. Sooner or later, they're going to wake up to the reality of that, and they're starting to now. So,
absolutely. Climate change is going to change everybody.
That's going to force the issue a bit, I think.
Yes.
Whether do we care about our own children? So if you do, you're going to start looking after the land, and that's what average people did for so long in this country, was to look after the land. We ensured that our children had clean air and water and food and a beautiful environment to grow up in. What have we got here? We've got a toxic waste dump. It's not healthy, folks. So sooner or later, you're going to have to shift your thinking about money, greed, selfishness. It's going to have to change all that. That's what wasn't here before colonialism. That's what they brought here.
Yes. Yeah.
That's got to all go back and unravel all this horror stories for 250 years. That's what it is. We went from the dream time to a nightmare. And change that back.
That's right. That's right. Wonderful. I mean, you've always been fighting. There was one area where you were champ, eh? You did boxing.
I done boxing, yeah. I loved it. I loved that sport. It was, you get punch a gubber, legs, and get away from it. But I was very much inspired by my idol growing up was a guy called Lionel Rose. He was a world champion.
Yeah.
From relation. He inspired us. He actually put us mob on the map.
He did.
And he was a world champion back in 1968, which was just prime for me. I was 11 years old. I was very impressionable, young black fella. And he was an idol for me, and so was Yvonne Goolagong. So I had
tennis.
Great. They were so good, those fellas. And against the odds, these fellas made it. And I went on to be one of Lionel's best friends, right? Me and him used to hang out all the time. So I lived my dream a little bit.
Yeah.
And boxing, he was in my corner doing my gloves up and stuff like that. And I helped establish the Fitzroy Stars Youth Club and Gymnasium.
Yes.
And that was a beautiful organisation. That's gone now. And I love sport. I used to play for Fitzroy Stars.
Fitzroy Stars.
I'm looking for the jacket.
Yeah, exactly. The Stars won this year.
Yeah,
2005. Brr.
Yes.
Yes.
And I grew up playing with them. I helped establish that club.
Yes.
I think I won 4 best and fairest, A grade. I loved it.
Brilliant.
And it was all Aboriginal team. There were sets of brothers. Sometimes there was 3 and 4 brothers in the team,
That's
There's a lot of magic there. And so it was really great. And it was great community building. You go to any town in Victoria and take their football team out of there, what happens to that community, right? It's so important to have football in your community, because what are them young kids doing otherwise if they're not playing sport? They're on the street doing stupid things, right?
Yes.
So sport's such a preventative way of doing things. It prevents problems in your community. It's preventative health campaign program there as well, because you're fit.
Absolutely.
You're doing things like that. And
yes.
The Fitzroy Stars was such a great organisation, and it helped build our community too, a strong Aboriginal community and strong Aboriginal men.
Yes.
And netball was on the other. Women were playing netball.
We were playing netball and basketball.
We had great times playing.
That's right. And I had my dad and uncle go through, and then I had my brothers go through, and now I've got the nephews going through.
That's right.
You know?
It's generations. And they won, like you said, they won the grand final.
Boom.
I think the last time they won a grand final when I was playing, just 35 years ago.
Remember them days?
Yeah, I do. Such character building experiences playing football back in the day.
Yes. Because you've got to make decisions. You've got to make decisions and be there and back yourself up.
That's right. And be consistent and go men's training and do all those things. And it's really coming together as a community, really. And, we were awesome team too. No one messed with us. And that carried out into the community as well.
That's right.
We're a force.
That's right. And it did splash out in the community, And
we held our own. It was up against the Broady Bandits and the Collingwood Districts team. They were pretty rough and Fairfield. It was like a war going out there, but we all loved it.
Exactly.
Like warrior stuff, yeah.
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 And then them days you could have a bit of a boof.
Yeah.
A biff.
Football's different now. I don't think I could play it no more.
Nah.
So changed the rules.
That's right. And too many rules,
Too many rules.
Yeah. Back in the day. Who did you go and watch? Football.
League football.
Football, yeah. AFL.
I used to go for Richmond when I first began. I remember going to the MCG back in 1967.
Boom.
And watching my team win the grand final. They won in 69, 71. I was their golden era of Richmond. I can even tell you the name of the whole team.
Yeah, right.
Kevin Ceded was playing at them days.
Boom.
So it was Royce Hart, Fred Gunnai, and lots of them. Brian Woods.
Yep.
Francis Burke. I didn't really know that. They didn't really impress me back in the day. I always wanted to do that, play footy, but yeah. Anyway, I love the Fitzroy Stars more.
Boom, exactly.
Yeah, I got asked to play for Carlton. Me and Normie Stewart, we went and trained a couple of nights and said, no, it's enough for us. Let's get out of here, British.
Yeah, so, right.
Yeah, we would have cut it, though, because we were good.
Definitely, yes. And Carlton had, to Doug Nichols there and...
Sid Jackson,
exactly.
A little bit racist, that club. Oh, not a little bit.
Totally.
Because when old Doug was playing there, no one would rub him down, right?
Yeah, the physios.
They would have touched the black man, right? So he went to Fitzroy Footy Club, right? Yeah. And guess he rubbed him down? My grandfather. So...
Oh, that's
he was white. My grandfather was a white fella, but he married Granny and loved Granny, and then he took care of Doug. He was the trainer back there.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. We don't hear about those.
No. Hairy little fella too, he was.
Exactly.
He's a lovely bloke, though. I met him a few times.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So he did a thing. I was always impressed that he had Lady Gladys Nichols with him.
Yeah. Yeah, they were a lovely couple.
Yeah, beautiful couple, which is great to see,
There's some great people in our time. Still needs a look at people like Bill Onus.
Yes.
And incredible. Bill Onus was the guy who named Mumba.
Yeah.
The white fellas went and asked him, what's a good name for a festival? And he thought about it and what's the white fellas asking me this question? And he said, Mum. Black fellas, what mum means. And bar, I don't know where bar come from, but they said, what does that mean? Because to Aboriginal that means kiss your ass or kiss my ass. Ask for a name for a festival. And they said, what does it mean? And he said, it means get together and have fun. So the name of this festival has been going for, 60-odd years now.
60 years.
It's called Mumba, and to average bear, that means kiss my ass.
I know, which is really funny.
They're really funny.
And I love to see the King and Queen Mumba.
Yeah.
We always love that. When Nazim was King Mumba, we had a good laugh.
Who?
Nazim.
Was it King?
Yeah, he's
what the hell?
the comedian.
Yeah.
Hey, Nazim.
Does he know what it meant?
Hey, he did. That's why he rang me straight away and went, I'm the king.
One of those
So we had a laugh.
the tennis stars, the Woodies.
Yeah.
I said, do you know what Mumba means? He says, yeah. Get together. And I said, no, it doesn't mean kiss my ass. He just didn't want to take that. There's also Mickey Mouse was Mumba once, not King once. It's a joke. Anyway.
It's funny, but it's like they didn't do the proper consultation with us.
No, they got what they deserved.
Yeah, and so then they end up getting that, you know. So that's kind of funny.
It's quick-witted people, you know. And,
yes.
Bill Onus was legendary. There was many others too, you know. But Bill Ferguson. How come they're all named Bill, but William Cooper?
I know. I wonder who was born a little while before that, that everybody got named after. Hey?
Cheers to them more.
That's it. But Bill was is a lot of our uncles, you know, in different ways. Have you written a book yet, Robbie?
That was my going to be my swan song. I wanted to go in the country and get a grant so I can write a book or something like that.
Yeah.
Can you recommend me?
Absolutely. And like, let's get that, because your book would be fantastic. Lots of insight.
And it begins on the 90-mile beach when we first seen Cook. That's where my story begins on my father's side, and I'll tell that story. And that's the history of British colonialism now. And it all began on that point. There's a place called Point Hicks on the 90-mile point beach. And Hicks was in the crow's nest of the boat Endeavour.
Yes.
And he first seen the land, but we seen him first. And this place called Hicks Point, that's where it all began. It's a great name, Hicks Point. Right?
Hicks Point. Typical like where the Hicks from, mate. Yeah. But it's like that's coming down our country, down Croydunkalong to Tutalong.
Yeah.
Near Tasmania, the Bass Strait, they call it.
Cook could have gone left.
Yeah.
Went south. He didn't want it because he was worried about the icebergs further south. If he had went left, he would have found Port Phillip, what they call Port Phillip Bay or Naarm. They went north and the rest is history there.
Yes.
They could have went the other way and they would have found this beautiful place called Nair, which would have been a different story again.
It would have been different.
And they would have realised Tasmania, the Tweeder, they would have realised that was separate from the mainland. You know, and when they did realise that was separate, that's where they built their military base, Port Arthur, and that's where they killed all the people in that country there.
Yeah.
Built their military bases, grew strong over 30 years and then attacked the mainland. That's the history of this country. I want to write about it.
Great.
Yeah.
And that's a really important story. And it's great that you're going to begin it there.
Yeah, on that point. Yeah.
On that point.
Yeah.
Okay, because, yes, you've got to get that. I think your book will be so important.
Yes.
Okay, now, who's your favourite musician? Where's your first concert? Who did you go to your first concert?
The Eagles.
Eagles?
Festival Hall in 1977, I think.
Yeah.
I wasn't really into that stuff, but I wanted to go and see them guys. We all went. We booked out a couple of rows. Us, Mock and Fitzroy. We all loved the Eagles.
Yes.
I went and seen Bob Dylan live not that long after that too, at the Maya Bowl.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I was in the orchestra pit. I was that far away from
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan, yeah. Actually gave him a badge.
Oh, blackfella badge.
Mm.
Deadly.
Yeah, so that was the first. The first band was the Eagles.
Right.
I loved them.
Yeah. I mean, we still cry, scream over them singing.
Yeah.
That's so good.
So that was the 70s.
Yeah.
I loved all that. I love the 60s music too, you know.
Yes.
Like Motown stuff. And,
all the Motown.
Yeah, I love that stuff. It was great.
And that would have been brilliant just to come across different things and then like meet Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Was he a young fellow?
Yeah, he was my age.
Yeah, right.
Same age as me. But he had older brothers, isn't he? He wasn't the only one in the band at that time. Well, the Jackson 5 was the name of the band. But
yes.
He became a solo name after that.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was really exciting. Stevie Wonder, met him. Tina Turner.
Are you a dancer? You go dancing?
Not really, no. I do that dancing in the dark sort of thing. I can go off on that stuff. But no, it's not my style. I like it, but yeah, I haven't really focused on it.
yeah.
But I think I can, but yeah, I've just been doing other things.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I mean, because you've had a great love life too. Yeah. How many kids you got?
I've got 7 kids.
7 kids.
Yep.
They're great. I've met quite a few of them.
They're all great.
And they are.
Yeah.
You
so blessed.
Yes.
I've got 8 grandkids too.
See,
I want to stay alive for a bit, you know. And, that's why I was thinking about the future all the time. Like, we don't want our kids to have to go through the shit that we went through, you know. We're making it a little bit easier for them so they can thrive in their own country sort of thing, you know.
Yes.
So I hope I've done something, impact that a bit.
That's right. To lessen their hit.
I'm very proud of all my children. All quite capable.
Yes. And a bit of media. Madika's in media?
Nakari.
Madari's in media.
Yeah, she's not like it's a glamour thing, but she's a news presenter for ABC in New South Wales. Like, she's like an anchor person too. Like,
news
ABC News. Madika, she works in Indigenous film, and she tells me lots of stuff going on there. But they got kids now themselves. And Lisa, she's one of my. She's great. Lisa, she's so switched on, and she's been nothing like my mother growing up.
Yeah,
she looked after me too. Like,
amazing, Lisa.
And my son, I love my. I've got 2 boys and 5 girls.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, congrats. Yeah, and that's a really big thing because we're not always encouraged to have a family and grow families.
No, because it's difficult and it's expensive too. Like, it's not easy to do, particularly if you haven't got housing and things like that.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that was always difficult, and it's always a struggle. Security of tenure, you got to have that. You haven't got decent housing, it affects your health. Everything's connected to decent housing, and it's been very difficult to have those things. And what's the Aussie dream? Have a house. We've been in that line for a long time. Still,
exactly. And I mean, we weren't allowed to own land here.
No, there was no intergenerational wealth that came through to our kids. It's been difficult.
And that is a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we want to give to our children, but all the land's been taken.
Yeah, we should add now. Like, my great grandfather, Henry Thorpe, he died. He fought in the First World War on the Western Front. He was on every battle on the Western Front. He got killed over there. But our people got no soldier settlement. All the white soldiers got houses and land given to them. Blackfellas got put on a reserve, back on the reserve, and
back on the camp.
That intergenerational wealth, that could have gone a long way, having that security. They got little farms given to them,
I know.
And yet they carved up our reserves and give it to the white bottles.
Exactly.
So, we spilled our blood on both fronts there. And, still struggling.
And it is. It's a never-ending struggle. It just seems like, isn't it? And because, like, when we have ideas, we don't have collateral to, make...
Flesh it out.
Yeah, to flesh it out and see if it works. Like...
Well, a great example of that is David Gunnai upon.
Yes.
There's an inventor, a genius, basically. All these inventions that he created, he got nothing for that. He's the guy on the $50 note.
If you didn't know, $50 note.
Yeah, he created a thing called curvilinear motion. He invented electric shears. Australia was built on the sheep's back.
The electric shears.
Why wasn't he given that recognition of it? There's another, and he actually invented a laser beam, the principles of a laser beam 50 years before it got invented.
Exactly. Yes.
And they look at us like, like we're nothing. We're just more than animals. I mean, we're hardly, got no worth really. That's what justified them doing what they did to us and taking our land. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
And they've sold that story to the wider community for so long. And that's how they get away with it. But it's all unravelling now. The truth, like I said, the truth is a mighty weapon. It's indestructible and it's always coming at you. It's better to deal with it. If you want to live a lie, that manifests badly. So this is what Australia's true history is. Until they deal with the truth, it's always going to be a backwater, a British colony, a British military outpost. It's all unravelling. Hopefully by the end of the year, we can knock, I call him Chuck the Turd, Charles III. We're going to knock him out. That's this. Yes, that's called checkmate.
You're back at Shiralee's hood.
Go on and ask me.
So good. Yeah. Go on, Dan. Okay, so so lots of things have been happening this year. What's your thoughts on the Palestine? What's your thought on Palestine?
Well, I'll tell you a story about Palestine from me. Back in 1971, the very first rally that I ever went to was outside the State Library in Victoria on Swanston Street. It was a rally for Palestine. It's when my mentor, Bruce McGuinness,
yes,
he introduced me to that. So the very first rally I ever went to in my life was for Palestine.
Wow.
That's more than 50 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a part of my life. And I relate to Palestine because it's occupied land and there's genocidal oppression going on, and that's the same as what we got here.
Yes.
And so, I've always been a supporter of Palestine. And this, in the last couple of years, I've nearly been to every Sunday rally and spoken at quite a number of them as well. So,
right, yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
And the Palestine people brought you in?
Absolutely. I've got so many good friends amongst the Palestinian group, and they used to come down to Camp Shiralee after their rally and debrief there, and we'd eat, we'd break bread and talk about our stuff.
That's
place
right.
To go and sit down, and a beautiful space, Camp Shiralee. It was just perfect. After their rally, they would come down to Camp Shiralee and got to know all of the Palestinians, and yes, I love them too. They're beautiful people and solid. They don't ever give up. They've been at it, but how many weeks was that? In 2 years more. They haven't stopped. They're there every week.
Yes, that's right.
And
because they see their families dying.
So it's horrendous what's going on in Palestine and Gaza.
Yes.
How can the world watch that and just do nothing about it? It's just this disgrace to humanity, what's going on there. Australia's a big player in that. They're very much complicit with the genocide that's going on there. They fund Israel. They not just financially, but they're supplying weapons. Disgrace.
That's right.
That's my take on it. I've always had that position. Like I said earlier, Australia's like a Nazi wet dream and a Zionist stronghold. Check it out. Have a good look what's going on. And they can do it in this country because they can get away with things like genocide. And they think it's normalising it. Australia's a coloniser. Israel's a coloniser. And they've got a lot of investments here and we've got a lot of investments there. They're like-minded. We're up against it. But I'm on the side of Palestine 100%. I'll say that any time, every time. I know there's a lot of people don't like me. I don't care. I'll be still saying that. I've been supporting Israel. I've been supporting Palestine for over 50 years of my life. There you go.
Excellent. No, that is really necessary because we need to stand for something. And if we need to stand for humanity, and standing for humanity means standing up to bullies in the system. That's what we've got to do.
If you don't stand for if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for anything. And that sums it up for me. So, I'm a stand up for your rights, and not just that your rights, everybody's. Because if you don't stand up against these crimes elsewhere, one day it's going to happen to you. So, be mindful of that.
That's right. Homelessness. What's your take on homelessness in this? Yes. We've had a whole lot of we've got a homeless crisis at the moment, and we've got a whole lot of our flats, our commission flats, being demolished. So it's quite a big thing going on in our community. I know that, Robbie, you've been a part of the flats in Richmond for a while.
I live in the flats, yeah.
Yes, yeah. What do you think about that experiment they're doing? Or what are they doing getting rid of homes?
They've done a deal with the property developers here, which we don't really know what the deal is here. Mm-hmm. But their plans are to demolish all the high-rise commission flats, which is public land.
Yes.
So they're going to move all these people out of there, like 20,000 people, dislocate them, dispossess them. And they're saying they're going to put them in these other places, but there's no real
other places.
There's no real other places. It's all bullshit talk. They've done the deals with these property developers, and they're moving everyone out, stealth. They're stopping all the maintenance work, and they're creating conditions where it's really hard to stay in there.
Yes.
They can do those sorts of things.
Turn the hot water off.
The
maintenance, the electricity.
Not get banned, taken.
Yeah.
They're putting people in these people, just allowing people to go and squat these places. People living in your laundry now and stuff like that. And so they're forcing people out. And all my good friends, I live amongst Africa and Asia. Yeah, I love it. It's great. And whitefellas too. And but it's all getting broken up. And all these people are going to be, joining the homeless. A lot will be joining the homeless.
Yes.
Brigade. And if you do get somewhere, they shift you right out into sticks where there's no communities, no transport. It's very difficult. So it's not looking very good. So we've got a campaign called 44 Flats United. There's 44 of these high-rise towers. I think there's 200 flats in each
Wow.
3-bedroom, 2-bedroom.
Mm.
And they're all going to be shifted out of there. A lot of them are gone. If you go there now and look at these places, a lot of them are empty. Where I'm looking across the road from here, is probably half the building is empty. And yet these places are okay.
Yes.
In the middle of a housing crisis, they're going to dismantle, demolish them all. So, what are they talking about? This is the work of, what was that clown's name, the last premier?
Dan?
Dan Andrews. And so he's the one that done the deal. And yet it's really hard to find out what the deal is, I'm telling you. So, we've been trying to pressure them to tell us who they've done this deal with.
I know.
What's the extent of it? And, they've just been running us around. And, there's a lot of homeless people in the centre of Melbourne here, in the streets of Melbourne.
Yes.
You see what's happening now. Melbourne City Council hired this group called Crown Land Security for a couple of $1 million to go and shift all the people off the streets.
Whoa.
That's what they've done just recently. And I was actually at a rally yesterday outside the Melbourne City Council.
Right.
In regards to that, yeah.
Yes.
So they're shifting all the people off the streets now. And rather than, spend millions of dollars on hiring, thugs, basically, Crown Land Security, that's called.
Oh, no.
Yeah, to shift these people. Not just, there's a lot of blackfellas on the street too. We've been chronically homeless.
Yes, for a long time.
A lot of them getting affected by it. A lot of non-Aboriginal people too. So, yeah, it's a real issue.
Excellent. Okay, can I ask you a few quick questions, and we're going to start wrapping it up.
Okay.
Yeah? A few quick questions. Salt water or river water?
I'm both.
Yeah.
Snow River, and we're on the coast there at Lake Tyers.
Yeah, where the estuary is.
Yeah, very, very much both of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say I was both on both of that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, hot or cold?
I'm hot.
Excellent. Yeah, that's right.
I like hot, yeah.
Yes. You like showers or baths?
I like baths. I think I prefer a bath.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit of relax.
Yeah, I reckon. I must prefer a bath.
Yep. Would you go motorbike or car?
Yeah, I'll go a car. But I like motorbikes too.
That's
the element of freedom for motorbike. You don't get caught up in traffic and stuff like that. It does your head in.
Yeah.
I've actually got a scooter. I'm a scooter person.
You're a scooter person?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And you got a dog.
Yeah, Lenny. He's home now. I'm waiting for him to get home.
Bless. Yes,
he's a beautiful dog. He's known as Lord Mayor of Richmond, my dog. He's really loved by everyone.
I know. He's like a thylacine, eh?
Yes, he does look like a Tasmanian tiger.
Yeah.
Got stripes and everything.
The
big dog. Eats a lot.
Yes.
He actually eats better than me, that dog.
That's good. That's good. And Robbie, you got any last words to share out there?
Keep the faith, people. Don't ever give up on what you believe in. Listen to your elders. I think that's the greatest source of knowledge you can get. All that lived experience of our older people. And get yourself educated. Always be looking at educating yourself. And there's many ways to do that. And do your best.
That's it. And I just want to say, this is Robbie's shirt. If you've seen his artwork, it's very much stronghold up against the system.
And that there it says crimesandaustralia.com, which is my website there, which has got all my information about my court cases and the up-and-coming one as well on December the 2nd, which is what I've been working towards for a long time, and hopefully I can get some success there.
That's right. That's right. Wish you all the best. Thank you, Robbie, for being a part of today. It's amazing to hear your voice and have your voice with us. It's so great just to speak with you at this level.
Oh, good on you, sis.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Shiralee.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. Yeah, and thank you. Thanks for joining us and Robbie Hood. Robbie Hood. That's right.
Robin the Hood.
Robin the Hood. We're going to do a bit of comedy one time too, eh?
Yes, right.
Robin the Hood. It'll be top hard-hitting comedy.
Pay the rent.
Yeah, pay the rent. But really great to have you here. You're in Shiralee's Hood. Come back next time. And thank you for Robbie for being part of today. See you next round for Shiralee's Hood.
Thank you.
Brr.